What's up, YouTube land? Ziino Gaming here, and welcome back to F1 2020 My Team. And this is episode number 34. After a bit of a hiatus on this particular series, I'm back here today to now try and go through the rest of the season, finish the season off, and then I'll see where we're at. Anyway, ready to go for the start of the British Grand Prix, and Ziino Racing is well and truly on the up at the minute. I actually don't know what happened in the last races. It's been a while, so I really cannot remember. But anyway, we're going to head here into the British Grand Prix for qualifying, and this is a very, very important race. So let's hope we can have a good result. And we're just starting up qualifying here, and it is a wet qualifying session, so I believe we had a few wet qualifying sessions already this season. I believe in France we had one. So just back in the wet here, and we're on our second time lap. I showed the first time lap the completion. I spun on the second time lap while improving, obviously getting more confidence. That wasn't ideal to have a spin through Stowe, quite a fast part of the track. Third lap, here we go. Coming across the line, I can't quite tell what lap time it is, but it's improving. We're currently sitting in P14 though, which isn't ideal now, down in P20. And when improving in the last sector on this lap, not so much in the first two sectors. We're currently sitting now in 21st place actually. So the time isn't very quick. We're here now on the 5th lap, and just being very careful, upshifting early, and we're still currently sitting in 21st position. And now this is actually the checkered flag here in Q1. We're in 21st position, and we're kind of come across the line. We haven't had a great first sector. We've done better in the second sector and the last sector. We come across the line. What's the time going to be? It's only going to be 19th place. So, yeah, just couldn't find my feet in the intermediate conditions. And that's us knocked out in Q1. And Hubert has been able to get into Q2. So at least we got one car through to Q2. This time it's myself, just struggling in the intermediate conditions, not being able to get the most out of the car. Along with Magnussen, they're in 17th, Giovinazzi, Latifi, Kimi Räikkönen, and
Great
Nick
Britain,
de
then, one of
Vries.
only two countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula One World Championship. And the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase, and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let me ask you about the new Racing Point driver. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly, and Stroll, Perez, Vettel, Hubert, and George Russell, Ocon, Albon, Carlos Sainz, and Norris, Kvyat, Leclerc, Kevin Magnussen, and Antonio Giovinazzi, the captain, Latifi, Räikkönen, and Nick de Vries. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top?
So yeah, a bit out of sync there. Didn't realise Crofty was about to start speaking, but you know, we'll get back into the grind here and the swing of things. Strategy here is a simple one stop, and I'm going to start on the medium compound tyre and switch to the soft later in the Grand Prix, hopefully to get us just a bit of a benefit later in the race and be on that faster tyre, or the AI on the slower tyre, and hopefully we can just stick with these guys, not lose too much ground, and then really push in the second half of the Grand Prix. Seems like a really good strategy. So yeah, hopefully that does pay off for us here today. Starting from 19th in the grid, it's not an ideal starting position, so we've got a lot of work to do, and we'll see if we can gain any positions early on the medium compound tyre. It's going to be difficult. It's always, I found it difficult, especially off the start, compared to the AI when you're on the slower, harder tyre. But here we go. 5 red lights. And let's go here for the Silverstone Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix. And we haven't made as good a start as Kimi Räikkönen, I believe that is, coming up here outside. We got past the car on the inside, which was Giovinazzi, but Räikkönen is having none of it. He's coming around here outside, but we're going to defend and get up the inside of the Ferrari that's coming across on us. That is Charles Leclerc. We're having I don't know if we're 3 wide here. There's a Haas, I believe, on the inside of Leclerc as well. It's Magnussen. We have a huge moment on the rear end, and now we're going to be under pressure from Räikkönen, and we're going to be able to hold him off, and we're actually going to defend a little bit, but we managed to hold Räikkönen off into, I always forget that corner name, Luffield. So anyway, I don't know if I know that one's Luffield, but I don't know if the first one's Luffield as well. But yeah, we still got Räikkönen on our tail, and now it's about, like I always say, settling into a rhythm and just finding how our speed and what we can do in this race. We'll see. So yeah, gonna just follow through Leclerc ahead and try and gain some time, but you can see that AI got a bit of a gap on us here, has Leclerc, so we're going to have to now try and find something here. And Leclerc, is he going to go around the outside? He can't go, there's no space to go around the outside. He switches to the inside, and that's a great move by Charles Leclerc on Kevin Magnussen. So he moves up into 16th position, and I almost run into the back of Magnussen there, had to avoid him. And we managed to almost lose our front wing here on the first lap, but we just survive, and now we got a car that's smoking. Now it's actually Charles Leclerc. Unbelievable. He had a good first lap, and now his engine has just gone kaput. So Charles Leclerc is out of this Grand Prix. So horrible luck for the Monegasque driver. And now that moves us up into 17th position. And he's parking this car in a very interesting position by the looks of it. And yes, the safety car is deployed here. So not much going to happen during the safety car period. Very early in the Grand Prix. No one decides to peel off into the pits apart from the safety car itself, as we are ready to get started here at the British Grand Prix, and being very careful on my traction here on a tyre that's maybe not up to optimum temperature at the minute. So very cautious start as we now come here into the end of lap number 5, as we have a bit of a moment here at the club and on the rear, and that's going to allow Räikkönen, Giovinazzi, Latifi and De Vries to all go through. So that drops us to last place here on 6 laps in, and now we've got even more work to do, more work cut out for us. So we're now chasing Nick De Vries, and we carry so much more speed through Copse Corner than him, and he is on that older now super soft tyre, or soft tyre, super soft. That's a bit of a throwback to back in the day, but yeah, the soft tyre, and we're now going to have the DRS here, and we've got a lot more grip coming through Beckett's there, and we got even though he's got DRS on his teammate Latifi ahead, we just have a great opportunity to get past with that slingshot, and we had so much more corner exit speed. So same thing with Latifi here, we've got a lot more speed than him, and he defends the inside. This is a pretty simple overtake to the outside, and we can brake on our line and take the apex of the corner quite nicely. So yeah, had enough overspeed there. So that was a good overtake on Latifi. Pretty simple one. And now we're chasing this pack of Räikkönen, Magnussen and Giovinazzi. Räikkönen's having a go at Magnussen here. So Magnussen was ahead, and the two Alphas are now attacking him. And we've now got another yellow flag here in the first sector. And I'm not sure who it is. It's a blue car. And it is Hubert. So I'm not sure what's happened to my teammate there. But he's dropped right to the back, and I don't think he's out of the Grand Prix, but he's had some sort of accident, and I wish I would have seen what happened, but he's been caught up with something, maybe broken a front wing. I don't know exactly, but he was just sitting there on the apex off the track of turn 1. As now Giovinazzi is having enough of Räikkönen not being able to get past Magnussen, and he's going to say, let me have a go myself, and he gets through on his Finnish teammate. Does he? Räikkönen dives back up the inside into club, and these guys are wasting a lot of time here. And can we manage to find a way through? Giovinazzi gets in front of Kimi Räikkönen. Great move by the Italian to get past his teammate. And now, can we have a chance at Kimi Räikkönen into turn 1? We do not. As now, we are just sitting behind these guys, patiently waiting, but we need to get through, as we can go a lot quicker here. And we're getting a great run here on Räikkönen using our overtake mode, and I sense the opportunity here, getting a great slipstream going up the inside into Copse, and that's a brave move. That was a really brave move, and Kimi, fair play, gives us the space, and we get the job done. So now We're chasing Giovinazzi. We got DRS here. He does not have DRS, as a few guys ahead have peeled in. This is lap 12 now, and we get through down into Stowe. So, yeah, we're now sitting in second position as Giovinazzi actually peels off into the lane. But, yeah, a lot of cars have peeled off into the lane. So, this is actually a good time just to push. We've got yellow flags behind us now, and it's going to be interesting to see what that is as we go through Cops. And it's Pierre Gasly out of the Grand Prix. So, Pierre Gasly, that's disappointing for him. And a virtual safety car deployed. We come straight into the pits. This is lap 15, and we're in the lead. You can see we're going to quickly relinquish that to the two Mercedes drivers. Verstappen will come through. Ricciardo will come through. But we see we're all the time we're gaining time at the minute. We're gaining time while everyone did their pit stop at full racing conditions. We are able to do at least half a pit stop under yellow, and while the field's going a lot slower. Now it's gone back to green flag racing, which, I wish it would have, stayed on while I was at the until I was at the exit of the pit lane, but, we can't really control that. We still gain time here, and you can see we're going to jump ahead of a few cars here, and we're going to jump ahead of Kevin Magnussen and be a fair way down the road and pretty close to the back of Russell. So you can see how much time we gained there. Pretty much we're behind those guys, and now we're a couple of seconds ahead. Russell got past Kvyat, and now so we're chasing Kvyat, and on the soft tyre we've got a lot more pace here and a lot more grip, and we go past Kvyat. He had DRS himself here on Russell, but the slipstream effect was big enough we were able to get through next lap, and we're now on the back of George Russell for 12th place, and he hasn't got much of a chance here. We've got DRS and a much quicker car off the corner, so that's a simple overtake, and we now move into 12th place, and now lap 22 here. So it took us a couple laps to get up to the back of Vettel, and we're finally on the back of him, and this is when we're going to make the overtake here, and Sebastian Vettel is dispatched of for 11th position, and now we got Albon next up the road, a fair way up the road. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to catch Alex Albon today. We pulled a couple of seconds on Vettel, but that's about it. Now the tyres aren't that fantastic anymore, so we're going to come across the line for an 11th place finish here today.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the captain. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
So Valtteri Bottas takes the British Grand Prix from his teammate Lewis Hamilton here today. And Ricciardo gets a podium for Renault in third. Unfortunately, we finished just outside the points in 11th position. Maybe if we don't have that little moment where we lose the car at club on the 6th lap, maybe we can get up into the points, because that cost us a lot of time having to repass all those cars. And yeah, a bit unfortunate, and we didn't actually really repass Magnussen or Raikkonen on track. We'd passed them. Oh well, we did pass Raikkonen, we didn't pass Magnussen on track. We got him through the strategy that helped us today. So yeah, just a very ordinary weekend, unfortunately. No points. And Valtteri Bottas is now starting to stretch his legs in the championship. Have a look at that. Unbelievable run of form the Finn is in, with Verstappen in second. Hamilton hasn't really got an answer. No one's got an answer at the minute for Valtteri Bottas. Mercedes taking quite a nice lead in the Constructors' Championship because Albon just can't help Verstappen. So, yeah, disappointing weekend for us as a team. And we beat Charles Leclerc here for this weekend quite convincingly. Apart, not really much Leclerc can do about that, though. He retired after one lap, so that makes the rivalry a little bit more interesting. But Hubert and myself are just, working away, grinding at it. Hubert, don't know what happened to him today. Wish I had have brought up the replay cameras when I did this race. Normally, I don't like to stop and do it during the race. I like to do it afterwards, and then I normally forget, and it's just, yeah. So, anyway, it is what it is. We've got some money in the bank now, and maybe we can put that to some good use. So, let's go over to the HQ, and you can see, done a bit of simulation there. We've got a new component on the car. I think it was a blue icon, so that means aerodynamic department, and that should help us aerodynamically for the next Grand Prix at the Hungaroring. So Hungary is obviously a very aero-dependent track, not so much a power track. Aero and chassis is definitely king around there, so that hopefully helps us in Hungary. I dare say it will. So now I'm looking forward to that track. It's obviously not a great track for the AI compared to myself, so always like driving the Hungary track. I think it's one of the best driving tracks in the world. It's just so rewarding when you get it right. Obviously very difficult though to overtake around there. It's not the best track for racing, so but as from a one lap perspective, it's one of the better tracks in Formula 1 in my opinion. It just it's so rewarding when you get it right. Just overtaking very difficult around there. So great for qualifying, not so great for racing, but we're now making more upgrades to the car and just going to keep pushing the envelope and just getting this car better and better, as close to the front as possible, because we want to be competing for wins here, and I believe we will be very soon, maybe even towards the end of the season, the way we're going. I'm looking at as well at reliability upgrades, because some of the bits on the car aren't as reliable as I'd like them to be, and I will be taking penalties at some point this season. I just accept that. So that's why I like to upgrade the reliability parts, because I don't want to take those engine penalties. I would rather just have the car as reliable as possible. So yeah, we're gonna go with that, and hopefully maybe in the next few races we will get onto the reliability part. But not really much more to add from this episode. We'll sim now through to the events to the next Grand Prix at the Hungaroring. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode today. The return of my F1 2020 My Team Ziino Racing is
new parts have been completed
back underway.
They'll be on the car ready for the next race.
So there we go. We've got more parts coming in for Hungary, which is fantastic news. And yeah, I might be making a bit of an upgrade here by the looks of it. I am making an upgrade. $6 million to go towards the powertrain resource department, I think. So that will hopefully mean more resource points to spend. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the return of my career mode, I've got plenty episodes going to be coming out, and I'm going to just get back on it, and maybe we'll finish season 2, and then I'll see what time frame we are, and maybe we can sneak in season 3 and try and win the championship. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Please leave a like in the comment section, comment your feedback down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until next time, I'll see you then. Goodbye.